この一族の器の浅さを。
What's up everyone, my name is Martin, and for today's video, we're going to be reviewing a game I actually didn't plan on playing. So I went to my local Gamestop the other weekend to find some Senran Kagura games, since I've never played them. They're waifu collectors and Dynasty Warrior type of games. Sounded really appealing to me. So unfortunately, they didn't have any of those, and I had to get this other game, Sakura Wars. Let me tell you all about it. If you only care about the rating, then feel free to skip to the end of the video. I'll have a timestamp in the description. Sakura Wars by Sega on the PS4 is a soft reboot of the 1996 Sakura Wars, which I won't be talking about in this video. To give you some background, the setting of Sakura Wars takes set in a steampunk version of 1940s Imperial Tokyo. Due to a cataclysmic event, the capital's global defense force, the Imperial Combat Review of Tokyo, had been severely dismantled. Along with this, the review's main base, the Imperial Theater, has begun to fall in hard times. It's up to you, Seijiro Kamiyama, as the new captain of the new Tokyo Review, to lead your squad to restore the Imperial Combat Review and the Imperial Theater back to their former glory. Before we dive into the gameplay, let me tell you about my expectations before even playing the game. Now, taking a quick look at the back of the game case, on the surface, Sakura Wars appeared to have both RPG and dating sim elements, so I was quickly reminded of the Persona series. Now obviously this isn't going to be anywhere close to Persona 5, but how good is it? I did some research to see how long a general playthrough of the game was, and the results showed 17 to 22 hours. That sounded pretty good to me, so I decided to give this game a try. Let's see if this game is worth your money or not. Starting with the genre of this game, I would classify it as a mix of JRPG, visual novel, dating sim, and mech-based hack and slash combat. The ratio of story to actual combat is probably 70 to 30. I'll go into more detail about this later in the review, and whether or not I think that ratio is good. As for the story, I'll go ahead and spare you the details, as I personally think the story of Sakura Wars leaves a lot to be desired. What is more interesting about Sakura Wars is everything else, such as the combat, characters, and overall presentation of the game. Many critics will talk poorly about Sakura Wars gameplay, and for good reason. It's honestly a very simplistic hack and slash with little need for strategy. It's super easy and you'll probably never die. The difference between Sakura Wars and, let's say, Dynasty Warriors is that in Sakura Wars, you'll only have to fend off hundreds of enemies as opposed to the thousands you see in Dynasty Warriors. Because of this, the fights are generally quicker and less mind-numbing, giving you a more pleasurable experience. Remember earlier when I said the story to combat ratio was 70-30? Well, I actually think that helps the game. Here's why. Since Sakura Wars is a game that focuses mainly on its story and social elements, the short amount of hack and slash you do is tolerable compared to a Dynasty Warrior game, where its core game is a mindless hack and slash and nothing but that. Because of this, I never got too tired from the combat that was well paced. One of my favorite things about Sakura Wars is the huge cast of lovable characters, and although their personalities and character traits may be kind of typical for what you see in an anime, they're executed very well. From the first minute you're thrown into the game, you'll see that Sakura Wars is personality driven with every character. Instead of a deeply intricate combat system, the core game of Sakura Wars emphasizes on building relationships through visual novel-like dialogue choices. When you're not fighting demons, you're venturing around the Imperial Theater and its surroundings, running into a wide array of characters. It kind of reminds me of Persona 5, but without as many activities to do. Sure, there are card games, battle simulators, and bromides to collect, but to reiterate, Sakura Wars mainly focuses on the social elements of the story. These social interactions are supported by amazingly strong voice acting behind most of the cutscenes, better than most JRPGs I've played. When I talked to Claris, the bookworm, and heard the voice of Shinobu from Demon Slayer, I knew I just had to make her my main waifu. Other voices I recognized were Uraraka from My Hero Academia, Irina from High School DxD, and Hinata from Naruto, just to name a few. If you're into harems, then you'll definitely enjoy this game. In case you don't know what a harem is, it is when the male protagonist is loved by most of the female cast over time. When you spend time with a girl, you'll earn closeness points based on the answers you give to their questions. When you've reached a certain closeness, the game will trigger a special event in which you'll share an intimate moment with a girl. As you strengthen your relationships, you'll be rewarded with combat bonuses, special bromides, and special endings. Last but not least, I want to talk about Sakura Wars' presentation and how it does a great job at holding everything together. From start to finish, Sakura Wars was filled with a plethora of great compositions that created the mood for every cutscene. It's no question that a lot of effort went into this game, and that the developers really tried to make newcomers fall in love with the series with its upbeat tones, staggeringly colorful settings, and friendly characters. Not to mention the environments felt surprisingly immersive. To review everything, I personally had a genuinely good time with this game. I quickly grew an attachment to all the lovable characters and found them worth investing in. This was all supported by excellent voice acting and writing. The visual novel-like dialogue choices, along with the music, provided moments of laughter, suspense, and everything in between, all while having fantastic visuals and presentation. Some things I wish the game had were a more intricate combat system, more activities to do outside the main story, and a fast forward option for the times I want to speed through a slow cutscene but not skip it entirely. If you're looking for an exciting anime story with drama, dialogue, and dating, then I would recommend Sakura Wars. However, if you're looking for an action-packed adventure with a deep, intense, intricate combat system, then I would look elsewhere. That wraps up my review of Sakura Wars, guys. I hope you liked it. I greatly appreciate any sort of feedback you may have. And as always, I hope you all stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.